everybody, it's Hillary from the Nina, and I'm here with another art challenge. As you can see, it's a beautiful day. It's been a really beautiful fall. We're so lucky. And so I wanted to do some art outside and with some nature before we end up with, 6 months of winter. So what we're going to do today is some different things with leaves. And I'm going to show you how to make some prints with leaves. And I'm also going to show you how to get started on pressing leaves as well. And then in the next video I'll show you what to do with some of those leaves. But I thought if for those of you who are following along, this process takes a little while. So we'll do the starting of it now and then we'll finish it up in the next video. So hopefully you're all following along and you want to try it out with me. So for the leaf prints, which we're going to do first, you are going to need some leaves, preferably some that are not too old and dry. You're going to need some water, maybe a paintbrush, and then just whatever kind of paint you have lying around. You can do this acrylic, you can do this watercolors, you can do this oil. If all you have is a stamp pad, you can do that too. Not that many people have stamp pads, but maybe you have a stamp pad for notarizing important documents or whatever. And then you need some paper. I'm just going to use paper from this sketch pad that I have, and some kind of a palette to put your paint on. You can use a fancy palette or just another piece of paper, whatever works. Just, don't squirt it right onto your table because it'll be really colorful, unless you want to, and then that's fine. So I'm going to run really quickly and go find some leaves in my garden, which is kind of the point of this whole thing, and then we'll get started. Okay, I'm back with my leaves. I got a selection of different things. I also picked some on my walk this morning. I've got oak leaves, I've got a piece of geranium, I've got some columbine, I've got a big piece of Virginia creeper, some rose. I'm going to try this cedar out. It's a little bit thicker, so we'll see what happens. And what else did I pick here? Oh, mountain ash, a bunch of stuff. More oak leaves. So, I don't need to know what kind they are. I'm just a nerd. We're going to get started. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of paper from my little sketch pad here. There we go. I like these because they tear off really easily. And it's, not so stressful to rip them out. It's not like you're ripping out of a coil thing or whatever. And then I'm going to take some paint. And I got some orange here. I'm using some nice sort of fall colors because I feel like it. It's fall. And this one is real dried up. Might not be able to use any red. That's too bad. Oh well. So I'm using orange and yellow. Maybe I'll get the red figured out at some point. Man, I should have tried these out. Oh, there we go. Got it. Just a little bit dry. Maybe I can get the red one. Oh. It's really stuck. Luckily, I'm outside. So I have a barbecue fork. Which, you know what? Probably shouldn't use barbecue forks to get paint unstuck. But I think it's going to work. I'll have to wash this afterwards. Nope, no dice. I could poke a hole in the end. Aha! Okay, I've done it. Whoa, okay. The paint is coming out the sides of the tube as I stabbed it. Good enough! I did it. Okay, so this is a very technical tutorial. So now I'm going to take some of my leaves and I'm going to get my paint kind of nice and liquidy. This will probably work better with, anything that's sort of a little bit liquidy. You don't want it to be too runny because then it won't stick to your leaves. And I'm just going to kind of nicely paint the leaves. Okay, so now I've got my leaf. I don't know if you can see this. It's all painted. And the paint's not dripping off and it's not thick. And then I'm going to kind of really carefully place this down, sort of spreading out the different little parts on my page. And I'm just going to press it on. If you want to be fancy, or if you happen to be fancy, if you happen to have a lot of random art supplies around, you can use one of these little rollers or like a rolling pin to do this. But your fingers will really just work fine. So honestly, that's just what I'm going to do. I'm just going to press it down. I'm making sure I get all the edges. There we go. And I'm going to pull it off. And that's really pretty. There we go. That's the columbine. That one was like a lot of leaves, so it might be easier if I did sort of one big single leaf. So maybe I'll try that next. And when I was at the back of my yard just now, I noticed that I got this huge anthill back there. And the anthill is crazy. It's so big. It's like probably a meter tall almost. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I like ants, but I don't know if I like ants, that many ants. But I feel like at this point, if I try to fight them, they would win, because there's way more of them. Alright, here's leaf number 2, all painted. I'm gonna plop this down here. And you know what, I might even use some kind of, just a little piece of like paper towel over top, just to kind of keep my hands from getting completely paint covered. And then that way I can really just press using my whole hand and really getting those edges down. You want to try not to move it around a lot once it's on the page, because otherwise you'll end up with this sort of multiple, like sort of double image of the leaf. Ooh, that's pretty. You can kind of see some of the veins in there. I like it. I might actually just do this one again right away because it's still got some paint left on it, and I think that might have a really cool effect. I'm try to put down like a clean piece of this stuff, just to see what happens here. And then, ooh, that's even nicer. Wow, I could do that a third time. It just keeps kind of slowly losing paint, and you can see more and more of the details of the leaf. Wow, that's so pretty. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Oops. Bend. There we go. So you can see this one is the one I did second, and you can see all the details in the geranium. It's so nice. Okay, I think I'm going to put one more on. And I'm going to try something kind of different. Maybe this. Maybe this mountain ash leaf. This might be nice. It's a really different shape, and it's kind of flat, so I think it might work out really nice. You might also notice that when I'm painting these, I'm sort of painting them, like I'm not necessarily really sticking with one sort of solid color, because I think that it's prettier if it kind of is, you know, a gradient, or what's fashionable now is an ombre. I think that's still fashionable. It's probably still fashionable. If you have really waxy leaves, like some leaves have sort of a natural coating that protects them from insects, you use a little bit thicker paint, and acrylic paint will probably work better for those. Okay, I got this one painted, and I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to try to place this on here so it kind of looks, I don't know, maybe kind of like a bouquet almost. That's what I'm going for here. Press that on. Just kind of using my knuckle to rub the back here. And you can tell it's done when the leaf is just sort of sticking of its own accord. And then you can go ahead and peel it off, and voila! Wow, that's so pretty. You know what? I really like that. It's very nice. You could do lots of experiments kind of mixing up the colors that you use. I think it'd be really nice to have some like maybe dark black ones in the front, but I didn't bring black paint with me, but that would be a nice thing to try. Okay, so that's that thing. So now with the rest of the leaves that I picked, I'm going to show you how to get started doing leaf pressing, which is really, really easy. I got the idea for this because I found some old leaves that I've pressed from, I think it was either a trip that I took to Toronto or possibly a trip that I took to Minnesota. A lot of maples out east, and every time I see maples, I always pick their leaves, and I press them. I don't know, I just like them. I found a whole pile of them in an old sketchbook. So they're really flat and they're completely dry, so you can use them for all kinds of things, and it's nice because, I mean, they're very delicate, but they don't rot because you're drying them, flattening them at the same time so that they don't get all crinkly and wrinkly and crusty. So what you need for this part, whoop, clear this stuff off, is a big book of some kind, some fresh leaves, and some more paper towel. And what we're going to do, really simple, we're going to open our book to the section on Islamic art, open the paper towel, and then you're going to very carefully place your leaves inside the paper towel. And I want to make sure that I'm placing them in a way that so that their leaves don't get bent or crunched. I'm going to very gently cover them back up, and then I might put some more paper towel in there as well. Actually, I don't really need to. I can just use the one piece. Honestly, that should be fine. And I'll flip over to Renaissance art of the 15th century and put another piece of paper towel in there. And then I'm going to put this piece of Virginia creeper in there. This one's kind of a crazy shape, so I'm going to try to crush it down really gently so that it's not getting all foldy on me. This is kind of a tricky part. You sort of have to like, whoop, this leaf broke off. That's fine. Flatten it and then slam it closed. And then let's see where we're at. We are now in 18th century art in Europe and the Americas. That seems like a good place to put, oh, I painted the rest of my leaves. Do I have another one? Another spare one hanging around? Let's try this cedar. Let's see what happens with this. And everything close on hand. Ooh, you can do flowers too. I'll do this little sweet pea. See what happens with that. Yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot of flowers left, but if you have any, you can always try this. So there, I've got all my leaves all closed up, and I'm going to give these a couple weeks to dry. Another thing that you should do is once you get all your leaves inside your book, is if you have some more very, very large, heavy books, or a lot of very small ones, put them on top. The weight is going to help kind of compress the leaves. And my book is really big, but I snuck some very thick leafy vegetables in here, so we're going to see how that turns out. But I'm going to need a little bit of extra weight to make sure this stays close, so make sure you do that. And then when we come back in a few weeks, we'll do some things with these cool leaves that we pressed and see how they turn out. Alright, so again, as always, send all of your really cool examples of your work to the Nina, and we will get to see them and share them, and we'll see you all next time. Bye!